Alright, so in this chapter we're going to be building an application using Cake PHP, which is an MVC framework, and it's very similar to CodeIgniter in terms of structure and design patterns, things like that. I think that it's easier than CodeIgniter to use, mostly because it's very convention based. Alright, so there's a lot of naming conventions. You name your models a certain way, your functions, your controllers, and it kind of does a lot of work behind the scenes, and that makes Cake PHP really good for fast development. You can create decent sized applications in a very small amount of time. So if you go to cakephp.org, there's a lot of good information. Documentation is pretty good. You can see all the APIs and helpers, classes, things like that. And this is the application we're going to be building, Job Finds. It's basically a job board. And this application, in my opinion, is probably the most production-like application in this series. I know we've built things like blogs, but we wouldn't have a user registration because that would just make the chapter way too long. This, I've managed to cram pretty much everything in, including registration, access control. You can see if we click on Add Job, it's just going to bring us to a login page because we have it so that you have to be registered in order to post a job. The home page, we have a nice filter search bar here. We can search by keywords, by state, and by category. And then we just have a list of jobs here on the home page, and jobs can be part-time, full-time, or freelance. Of course, you could add your own if you want. But you click on Read More and it takes you to the main page, location, job description, things like that. And then we just have a simple Mail To link to contact the employer. All right. Browse jobs, basically like the home page, and we have the categories here that we created in the database, and the search works pretty well. If we say WordPress, you can see that only this listing comes up, and you can search by state if you want, or category. Obviously, if we search for WordPress in construction, that's not going to come back with anything. All right, so let's see, register. Okay, so you can create an account. We have a role field, and they can register as a job seeker or an employer. Right now, we don't really have separate functionality for each, but obviously, if you wanted to scale this application, you could add that pretty easily. And the last thing I want to kind of introduce is HTML Kickstart, which is a framework much like Bootstrap and Foundation, which we've used, and that's what I created the template with. If you go to 99lime.com/elements, you can download it, and you can see all the different snippets for buttons, icons, lists, menus, things like that. It was actually my first time using it, and I really like it. It's actually much simpler than Bootstrap, and I do like the way the templates come out. So before we get into Cake, we're going to create just our HTML template using Kickstart. Alright, so I'm going to create a new folder, and I'm going to call it jf_html. Alright, so what we want to do is go to the Kickstart site and download. Okay, so it's going to give us a zip file. We're going to open that up, and let's just take, not everything, let's take the folders, the style sheet, and blank, and that's it. And we'll take the composer, which is like a manifest file. So let's paste these things into our folder, and let's see, blank. Let's let's actually change blank to index. Alright, and let's open up Composer. .json, and you can just put your project. Actually, we're just going to leave this as is. I'm not going to change that. So let's open up index.html. Alright, so it's basically a blank template. It has all the head code and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and change the title to Job Finds Welcome. And Kickstart CSS, we want to keep that. That's the main CSS file. And then style.css, that's good. We'll use that as our custom CSS file. We have jQuery include in the Kickstart JS file, which we want to keep. So that looks pretty good. So I want to get rid of everything in the body and kind of start from scratch. Actually, I want to keep the grid, which is going to be used as kind of like a container. I'm actually going to give it an ID of container. Alright, so in here we want to start our header. So we'll put in a header tag. And in here, I want to have half of it for the logo. So if we take a look at it here, for the logo, and then the link over here. All right, and this might not be exact. We probably will change some things when we actually are dealing with our application. So we're going to say div class, and this works just like Bootstrap and Foundation. The syntax is call underscore and then the number of columns, and then you just want to add the class name column. Okay, so that'll give us a 6-column div. Okay, and then we want another one. Alright, and in this first one we want our h1 tag. Alright, and that's gonna say job finds, and I want to just add a span to the job part of it just to give it that different color, different look. Alright, so that's the logo. Okay, now here we'll put it's going to be a form with a button. Okay, and we're going to say button class equals large green, and we want an icon next to it, so I class, I want the plus icon. Okay, so it's icon plus, and the text will say add job. Alright, let's see what that looks like. We just want to open the index. Okay. Alright, so that's fine for now. Obviously, we're going to do the CSS. I'm probably going to do that after. So next we want the navigation. If we go to the site, to the Kickstart website, and look for menus, okay, so you can see the horizontal is pretty much the same one I have, so we're just going to grab that. Okay, grab this, and we're going to paste that. Actually, first we're going to create a new row. So after the header, closing header, let's say div class equals call 12 column, because I want this to go across the whole page. Okay, and then we'll paste the menu in. Alright. Whoop. Okay, so there's our menu. So we want to change the menu text. Alright, so for the first one, we want this to be the home link. And for now, it'll just go to index.html. Alright, and then the next thing we want here is browse jobs, and I want an icon actually for both of these. So if we go to Kickstart, icons. So I think there's a home one. AFG, yeah, okay, we have icon home, and then for browse jobs, let's do we'll just keep the one it has. Actually, it doesn't have one. We'll use the desktop one here, I guess. So let's see, home. Okay, right after the list item. Actually, I want it in the link. So right before the text, we'll say I class equals icon dash home. Okay, we want a space there as well. Let's see, browse jobs. Okay, we'll do the desktop one. And then let's see, I'm gonna paste in, I'm gonna get rid of the rest of these and paste in the register and login. Alright, and the register we're using the user icon, login we're using the key icon. So let's check that. Okay, something obviously went wrong here. What do we got? iClass icon home. Oh, we put a li ending tag. We're gonna change that. Alright, so that looks good. Next we're gonna have the search area, and I'm just gonna paste that in. So under the 12 column div here, I'm going to paste in a div. It's also a 12 column and has the ID of search area, and then we have a form with the class of horizontal, input text for keywords. We have a select for state. Down here we have a select for category, and then we have a submit button. Alright, so that's all we need for the search. Okay, next we just need our listings. So after this div, I'm going to paste this in, and let's go through it real quick. 12 column div has a heading, and then we're having this UL with the ID of listings. Okay, and then we have the list item. We have a type, which is going to be the box with full-time or part-time, and then a description with the title and description, and then a read more link down here with the plus icon. Okay, and these are going to go to just details HTML just for now. Alright, so that's that. Let's check that out. Okay, so obviously there's no CSS, so it's not going to look very good yet. Alright, so after that, I think it's this div. Okay. We're going to do a clear fix just to clear all the floats. So div class equals clear fix, and then close it. And finally we just want our footer. So footer, no IDs or anything. And inside that we'll have a paragraph, copyright, and job finds. Okay. Alright, so that's the HTML. Now let's just add in our style sheet, or our styles. And let me just open that up. So CSS, actually, the Kickstart framework, the style CSS is actually in the root. All right, so let's open that. I want to open it with Notepad++. So basically, we have a spot for overrides. So these will be like main things like headers and tables, links, things like that to override. And then layout will be just our custom CSS. And you can see that there's quite a bit here already. The nav bar is what allows it to look like how it looks. We have a bit gray, nice texturized background. So there are styles here. We just need to add our own. So I'm actually going to stop the video here and continue in a part 2 where we can actually customize our CSS.